Sorry about that.
No worries. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to talk to you. I was like, you look so familiar. And then I was like, okay, because you used to do a lot of modeling. So
Yeah.
congratulations on now branching out into singing career. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I was really nervous about it, but it's been really fun.
Yeah, and I mean it's been great. I just want to say, and I'm maybe not the first to tell you this, your voice remind like you belong in like a Disney Prince movie. Your voice is
Oh,
so like angelic and I don't know. It gives me like Prince Eric vibes. I don't know. That's probably like the most random compliment to give someone, but I had to tell you that. Like you have this Disney kind of fun voice and I think that's a very unique thing. So,
yeah,
I
well, that was the idea in my head when I was like trying to do the marketing was just kind of, and we never really had like a, I feel like now Disney is kind of being like, oh, like launching the Brandy Black Princess movie, and it's everyone's so excited about it. And so I was kind of like, well, I feel like I wish there was like an LGBTQ kind of Prince kind of movie, like, you know what I mean? So that was kind of the idea that I got for why I wrote PG and like all that stuff, and what was kind of inspired for like all that kind of chivalry is dead kind of vibe, if want to hold the car door open and all those things that I feel like have kind of been lost in music.
they have been lost and I'm glad that there's people like you to kind of bring that idea back. And how fun that you that was also what you were kind of envisioning all along and
Yeah, that's cool that you like got the idea. I was like, oh yay.
oh, yes, no, I totally did, and I also love the artwork, it's funny how something as simple as, like, an album cover can really pull people in. I mean, I was pulled in anyway because I love your voice and I already knew who you were, but I don't know, that was just, like, the cherry on top. I thought that was super fun and a good way to showcase, young LGBT love, and, I know that you've, spoken about it a little bit, but it is hard to kind of be, a model and navigate that, and then switch
Yeah,
into singing, and you're looked at as a sex symbol as a model
yeah.
so much, and I've heard a lot of stories specifically from, some of my friends who used to do modeling about, things they make you do off camera before you shoot and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. I feel like when I first was signed, I was like, well, in my first ever agency, I was 19, and no one really kind of guided me in that direction, like where what was I gonna experience, like the kind of people that you attract when you do those things. And so it was very like shocking to me because I'm from Stockton in California, which is like kind of farmed like town. Like there's not really it's just kind of ghetto and small and like you know what I mean? So I
I have
feel
a
like
friend there.
yeah, so to go to like a big city where there was just even for me like 5 hours away from LA, like my family never I never even been on a plane. And I was like going to Hong Kong to like go live there and do modeling and stuff. And I was like, that was my first plane ride. So like I just kind of got like thrown into it. And but I always had good morals, and I always had like my faith, and like I always had things like that. And so like that kind of kept me. I mean, I would be at parties and I'd be like talking about like faith and stuff like out by the pool, you know what I mean? So I feel like you can do whatever you want to do as long as you stick to who you are and you remember like why you're doing it, you know what I mean? And I always had the same kind of focus, so it's always been going in the same direction, even though it seems like it's been like you said, you're like, oh, you're kind of like a sex symbol. It's so funny that that happened because I feel like that's so not my personality, but it's just like me turning it on for the camera for the job, for like, you know what I mean? Like that's what it's like acting, like it's like
It
you
is.
go on a stage and you like little girls wear tutus, but like you don't go out in the streets and you're not like running, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like so for me music was a new way of being able to show what was real on the inside. Might not be as popular as the smizing, but to me it's more authentic.
Definitely, and I love what you said, how at the end of the day it is a job, like modeling and acting, those are fun things to do for people who love them, but at the same time, you are acting in that moment, even if it's for a still shot, and
Yeah.
that's what people know you from, you started modeling before Instagram probably even existed, so if people see you in, Men's Health or some magazine, that's literally all they know of you.
Yeah.
And so music, correct me if I'm wrong, has been a way for you to kind of expand on how much you let the world see you, how much of your
Yeah.
life you kind of let them in on.
But I also I before when I was younger, I think we all have this idea of perfection. So I was so scared to like step outside of this certain kind of idea that people had of a still shot. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
was so nervous to show like even like a video or me talking or just like me, let alone singing. And so I would post a singing video and then I'd get nervous and like archive it. And then I
Oh
would, you know
no.
what I mean? I feel like instead of just I wish now, like I'm like, I wish I would have just been myself all the time and just left those videos on all the time. And you know what I mean?
Yes, and it's hard, it's and I think a lot of times people think it comes from a place of being shy, and that's not it. And more so it comes from a place of not wanting to be vulnerable, and you kind of have
Yeah,
to learn.
exactly.
And
But at the same time, like I think the most attractive thing is to be vulnerable. So you have to push through and just like do it.
no, my favorite quote is to love it all is to be vulnerable, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Like my long-lasting friendships have probably thrived mostly on emotional intimacy, vulnerability,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's so true. I really like your eyeshadow, by the way. It's so pink and like sparkly and pretty.
thank you. It's kimchi and Naomi Smalls glitter.
I love it. Yeah, I'm like, that looks so good.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I realize it probably makes me look 12, but I love
No,
glitter.
get
That's
it. I love glitter.
Oh my gosh, we have to meet in person sometime. I want to do like a fun
Mhm.
glitter look on your eyes.
Yeah, I'm down. You could do it.
I would be so honored. I normally do it on my lips and eyebrows as well, but I was like, I don't want to scare stuff off today,
Do
so I'm
it.
not
I'm
gonna
gonna go
do
full
it.
out. Why not?
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. That's part of my brand, I guess you could say. But yeah, I think it's awesome that you've learned that because I mean, I guess 6 years younger than you. I'm 24 and I'm still kind of coming into my own and learning, what I want to do as far as interviews go and how I want to portray myself to the public. And I love that you seem to have a super firm grasp on that because
Mm,
again, you have been in the industry, I guess, for 11 years, but
yeah.
music not as long, and you've already kind of figured that out. But did you come into any challenges along the way?
I think I'm just still learning a lot about like what's um I think it's just yeah, I feel like the challenge is really honestly the biggest challenge probably is remembering not to have to please everybody else and just like pleasing myself. And I think that like knowing that that might not always be the most popular, but it's about like I said, like staying true to who you are. And I think that so that is probably the biggest challenge is just not caving and doing a certain song because you know it's going to take off, but
Mhm.
doing it because you mean it or you wrote it or you know what I mean. So
Exactly.
I just feel like it's hard. It does get hard. Like I remember my first opportunity to do this song. The beat was really good, and I had some of my friends come with me to go meet this producer, and it was like all about like but I think the song was called Money, and it was just like all about like how you need money and like money, 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 and the beat was like really cool and stuff. But I was like, I didn't write this,
Yeah.
and B, I was like, I could never sing these lyrics. Like I just couldn't. It just I don't know. I can get in front of a camera and turn on any kind of character, but when it comes to singing, it just sounds weird if I don't. You know what I mean? Maybe it's
Yeah,
because
for
it's more
sure.
personal.
Because it's
Uh,
literally it's verbal. You're speaking these words, and eventually
yeah,
you're gonna either start to believe it or, like you did, you realize this is not me, and
yeah,
it's a matter of integrity and morals, and I applaud you for that because it's not easy, if they're
yeah. It's already a challenge sometimes with modeling. Like when I step on and I have to like kind of do this other, you know what I mean, character or whatever, and turn it on. But it's also fun too. Like you know what I mean. Like I have a great time um, with that part of the artistic part and just having fun with because I've been doing modeling for so long. So to me, it's like, oh, it's always going to be fun. But I think just being able to differentiate, like, oh, that is just fun. You know what I mean? Or that is just a character. That is just, I'm not like walking around brooding all the time. And like, you know what I mean?
there's enough of those people in LA. We don't need
Yeah.
anymore.
I
I'm
think it's
sure
like,
you've seen them.
Yeah, it's nice to show personality and stuff. So I've been happy like doing that more.
Yeah, oh, that's so great. And yeah, I mean, I keep going back to this idea of kind of the intersections of modeling and music and acting and how it's all,
Mhm.
I mean, it's all under the umbrella of entertainment. But I'm wondering if there's anything, most likely subconsciously or maybe even unconsciously, that you think you have taken from modeling and then fused into either your songwriting, your visuals, any music videos, whether it could be as simple as I want to wear this brand of like jacket or something.
Yeah, I definitely feel like so for the first songs that I did, I wanted to keep all of the clothing very basic and classic because I wanted it to be able to, if it does do really well, like in a couple years, the imagery still be like, oh, that's a cool jacket. It's just like a simple white shirt, a black jacket, jeans, and like a pair of like black Givenchy shoes that are not going to go out of style. Like, you know what I mean? And the backdrop is just white. So I'm like, I'm giving it because you have to give it time, you know. But
Yeah.
I feel like but then for other stuff, like I had more fun like for the performance part when I did Jingle Ball and stuff like I was like wanting it to be more costumey and so I ended up doing more of the Letterman kind of sweater and it was very like the song sounds kind of 50s so I did the kind of like a 50s like kind of look and I just had fun with it and I think it was just yeah it was a good time.
Yes. No, I love that. Whenever I speak to people who have their hands in multiple parts of an industry, I always love hearing about the intersections. And
Yeah, but I feel like for modeling and sorry, my nose is kind of running.
it's okay, mine is too. Allergies are so bad.
Yeah, from but yeah, definitely from modeling and from just like I think from doing the characters and turning it on, just they're like, put this on, wear this, and you're just like, okay. I think that it made it more fun to like when I did do the music and when I heard the sounds and because I composed my own like music and I could like write it by myself. And so I knew exactly what sound I wanted to do, like this really fun kind of Disney 50s like thing. And then I was like, oh, I want to do these sweaters and I was just very, I don't know, I just had fun with it. I didn't do a video because I want to wait until I do a song that picks up and takes off. And then that's what I want to do the video. I don't want to rush it. I want it to be good, you know? So I've been writing and writing and I have like more songs that I really want to record. So I'm
Oh,
just like taking time and putting out in the universe and it sucks because right before COVID, I got to perform and do Jingle Ball and go to Live Love Live and do all these things. And then COVID happened and it's like it all stopped. And I was like, no.
I know. It's hard because as a musician, I'm not saying I'm a musician, but I've interviewed enough. There is this kind of sense of urgency for whatever reason, like get it out now or tomorrow, the next best thing
Yeah,
to
which
pop
is a
up.
mistake, honestly, because
Yes.
I didn't know about like how everything works, and I just was like, just put it out. Like I didn't think about playlists, like I didn't do any of that. So I just kind of was like, I'm just gonna release it, and I'm not really gonna tell anybody. You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
like I should have waited, and there's a certain like process system that you have to go through. But I feel like but it's out in the universe. So
Yes, it is. And
which
I
was
mean,
the point, you know what I mean? It wasn't really to because I feel like I got a lot of notoriety from modeling, and there was like there was attention that came with that, and I felt like with music, I was just more focused on sharing. I wasn't really focused on pushing like
mhm.
when I was younger, and I was, you know what I mean?
I love that. And I think that you're, it's hard because you want to just put it out when you want to put it out, but there is also that strategy. If you want to make it as, big as possible, you got to do PR and all this stuff. So
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
definitely a fine line, but I think you've navigated it well and you have gained so much from Instagram. And I'm not sure if this is too invasive, so feel free to not answer, but I'm wondering if you ever feel like it's hard to kind of almost break out from that idea of being like an Instagram model.
Well, it actually, when people started saying that, it actually was like, I don't want to say offensive, but I was just like, really? Because
Well, yeah,
I,
that's the thing, because you're not an Instagram model. You're a model who
yeah, I mean,
posts on Instagram.
yeah, exactly. Like I started modeling like with Next and Wilhelmina and like One, and I was doing all that stuff. So I wasn't an Instagram model. It just, I think I just was working a lot at that time when Instagram was like becoming like cool or whatever.
Mhm.
And so my agency was like, it wasn't even, I didn't even get it in the very beginning when it first came out. And my agency was like, you should make an Instagram. And I was like, okay. And I just gone to Hong Kong and I just gone to Guangzhou and Shanghai and like all over Asia. And I was like posting all of these, like, cause I was going to so many castings a day, like Barry, you go to a lot. And then I was traveling, and I think that and doing a lot of commercials, and I think it just started building up. And I wish I didn't archive so many things back then, and I was so insecure, you know what I mean? Or I don't want to, I don't know. And I was so silly. Like when we're young, I feel like we just get insecure and we just silly and we just delete everything. And then later on, we're like, why did we do that?
No, I'm unfortunately still guilty of it. So you've inspired me. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah,
Unless I
then you can
actually,
look back on it.
yeah. Well, the thing is, here's the thing. Now you can truly archive and see it,
Yeah,
whereas before you could only delete. So it's like Instagram's giving us options. But yeah, and I hope you don't think I was like calling you like an Instagram model. I was more
oh
just
no, no, no. I feel like
okay.
a lot of people do though. Like a lot of people just assume they go on there and they're like, "Oh, you have like 320,000 followers. You're an Instagram model," and I'm like, "Okay, like, all right."
Yeah, and obviously there's nothing wrong with that. It's just there are
Yeah, no,
people.
exactly. And kudos to them because there's some people out there who are Instagram models that make tons of money and or are very happy with what they're doing. So like, I'm not knocking that kind of
Yeah.
career at all.
Oh
I'm
no.
saying that like that's just not where I started.
Yeah, and I didn't think you were doing that. I just wanted to make sure you didn't think I was like implying that because I would never do such a thing.
Oh, no, no, it's all good.
So I'd love to hear more about what you have in the works. PG is of course the song that you released, and you've released some other stuff since then, or around then. So what's next? When can we expect your next song? Next
Well, I have this one song that I'm really excited on recording. I want to record it so bad. So I have to go. I'm in LA right now because I'm doing some modeling stuff, but I'm going back to New York to record and um, probably in a couple weeks, I'm guessing. But I'm just really excited. I know that I have like another remix coming out. One of the songs I think "Fall for You" remix is coming out. So that should be really interesting. But I'm just like, I just want to, if it was up to me, I would be in the studio all the time, just writing and recording, writing
time?
and recording. But I feel like it doesn't happen like that. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, no. Unless you have a home studio, but those are
Yeah, exactly.
extremely
And
expensive.
I don't, we have to like rent a studio in New York and like, it's just like a whole process and which
Mhm.
is so much fun. And I love doing it, just not all the time.
Yeah, you don't have that luxury, I guess.
Yeah,
So are you bi-coastal?
yeah, I'm always traveling now. I mean, like with COVID I wasn't, and I was obviously I'm always wearing a mask and I'm always getting tested and being safe about it. I'm not like stupid, I literally have a mask right here. But like yeah, I feel like when I go I quarantine. And right now I'm staying with a family friend just because I don't want to get a hotel just because it's for work and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'll do that and then I'll fly back home. And yeah, so I'm just kind of everywhere all the time.
Gotcha. Hey, that's a great way to be. I'm everywhere all the time, but more so in my mind because my mind has a million things running at once. So
Yeah. Yeah,
hopefully, when
my home base is New York.
New York City,
Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
I know.
I
I love it. I live right on the park, so I'm like, oh, it's chill. It's cool.
oh my gosh, yeah, I love New York City. My soul like identifies with that city. It's the
Should
weirdest.
come and visit, and we'll get coffee and stuff.
I would love that.
That'd be so
I
fun.
have a couple other friends in New York City I was gonna go see, and then COVID happened. So when that happens, I'll slide into your DMs. Sorry when
Yeah,
I
do it.
say that's so
Don't be
cringy.
shy.
But I would love to do that. That would sounds amazing. And when I'm back in LA, because that's my home base, I'm just not there at the moment. We can definitely get together. I'd love to do that.
Cool.
I'm, I'll wear extra glitter for you.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, I love glitter. I could talk about glitter all day. Well, Scott, thank you so kindly for this interview. It was great just kind of talking about how you transitioned from modeling to music and all those intersections that you mentioned. And I'm excited for what's to come. For everyone else to also keep up with you, do you just want to plug your Instagram, your Twitter?
Yeah, for sure. So if you guys want to follow me, my Instagram is Scott M Gardner 1, and yeah, check it out. Or check out my music. It's on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio app, and Pandora.
And what else? YouTube. Yeah, you also have
Right,
them on
and
YouTube,
YouTube.
so that's
I
nice
do.
'cause
Yeah, I have it on all these platforms, so go check it out.
literally everywhere. Like you can't miss it, guys.
I'm like, please. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you so much, and I can't wait to meet you and see you in a Disney Prince movie. Like I see it
Oh,
happening. I want to manifest it so
yeah, put
bad.
it out into the universe.
I am. Universe, please, let's make something happen. Disney is becoming so progressive, so I think
I
this is
know.
the next best step. I truly do.
That would be so awesome. I'm gonna pray for it.
Oh, me too. I'll pray for it. I say my prayers every night, so I will do the same
That's cute.
thing. Thanks.
I love that. I do too. No, I really do.
Oh, good. No, I love that too. Well, Scott, thank you again so much for the interview. And yes, I'll continue to manifest a fun Disney Prince movie for you. And yeah, it was so great to meet you. I hope to meet in person sometime.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, anytime.
Alrighty.
Bye.